Welcome to Let's Play Mega Man 2 for Game Boy. Almost every series has a black sheep, and for the Mega Man Game Boy series, that black sheep is Mega Man 2, because unlike Mega Man 2 for NES, this is not a trendsetter, this is not a popular game. In fact, this is the weakest, the worst of the 5 Game Boy games starring classic Mega Man. One of the big reasons is, well, you're listening to it right now. The soundtrack is not all that great. Some of the themes are okay, but for some reason there's this weird pitch thing that goes on. I don't know. It's the soundtrack just grates on the ears. It is absolutely terrible. And something that boggles my mind. I just saw this as I was looking at some. As I was looking at some information for Mega Man 2 for Game Boy. That this was the only Mega Man for Game Boy game that was re-released as a Nintendo Select game, which is popular games that sold well. This is the only one of the 5. This is the only one of the 5 Game Boy Mega Man games that was re-released as a Nintendo Selects game. There we go. See, I could say it. I could say it right. I could say it right. Good. English. I can do it. Anyway, this is the only one of the 5 games that was re-released for Game Boy, but still re-released as a Nintendo Select Classic game. That's boggles my mind, because this one is easily the worst one. So what makes it so bad? Well, besides the music, which you're probably not going to hear super well on this commentary, because I'm going to be talking and rambling on over the music. Thank God for your ears and not so much for mine, because I had to listen to this while I played, and oh God, it's not a good soundtrack. But besides the soundtrack, the levels are pretty generic and uninspired, unlike the first Mega Man game for Game Boy, Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge, that took full advantage of the limitations of Game Boy and made a pretty fun game regardless of those limitations. This game is just... I wouldn't say that it... Well... The game works. You jump, you shoot, it's intuitive enough, but there's some stuff... Look at that. The buster shots, they go through enemies now. Usually they go through walls, because that's how Mega Man's Buster works, but they never go through enemies like they're doing right now. And this, by the way, is going to make some of these boss fights in this game, which are already ridiculously downgraded in the Game Boy Mega Man 2, they're going to be even easier now, because the Buster goes through so much stuff, like Woodman's Leaf Shield. You'll be seeing that more in action in a little bit. The slide, by the way, it works, and it's back. We didn't have this in Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge, but we do now from Mega Man 2 for Game Boy onwards. The problem with the slide in this game, not the way it controls or anything, but look at the animation for it. It looks... Well, sorry, the animation. Look at the sprite for it. It looks wrong. The arm in the back is too low. Some of Mega Man's head is cut off. It looks weird. They fixed this in Mega Man 3, 4, and 5 for Game Boy, but 2, it looks off. It sounds off. It plays a little off. This is a very, very lazy sequel. I mean, why can you see the inside of the hall from there when you enter the boss door? That's so strange and lazy. And well, whatever. Here's Metal Man. He fights the same as he always has, except now instead of shooting 3 metal blades, he only shoots 2. And yes, it's still recommended you go after Metal Man first, even in this downgraded super crap version of Mega Man 2, because he's still pretty easy. Actually, it's going to be a little bit more tricky to hit him. So you're going to have to shoot, and then shoot again as he's jumping down to the ground, because that's going to throw off his jump timing, so you'll actually be able to hit him. It's a little bit complicated, but you're seeing it in action right now. The direction of the conveyor belt never changes, unlike in the Mega Man 2 boss fight. And Metal Man doesn't jump from one side of the screen to the other if you get too close to him, like in the actual Mega Man 2 boss fight, so... Overall, this is a downgraded, super simplified, craptastic version of the Metal Man fight. This boss theme, by the way, is terrible. And it all has to do with the pitch, because a lot of this music is actually pretty good, kind of good for the most part, but they got the pitch wrong, and I don't know why. I'm just. This is not a great game at all. This is a lazy, uninspired, almost Sonic Genesis level. Okay, maybe not Sonic Genesis level. Sonic Genesis is just broken. This, for all its faults, does actually play. So, you know, it's bad, but it's not that bad. And by Sonic Genesis, I mean the Game Boy Advance port of Sonic Genesis, not the actual game Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis. Password theme sucks, but now you can actually put down as many dots as you want. Instead of Mega Man and Dr. Wily's Revenge, where you can only put down 5, now you can put as many as you want. Get the password right, you skip ahead, you get it wrong, you don't, you go back to the main menu if you get it wrong. Simple as that. Second boss. Second guy we're going after is Woodman. Actually, I'll tell you another problem I have with this game. It's the length of levels. Some of these levels in the game are bafflingly short, whereas some are kind of long, like the last level. You know, that's an appropriately long level for a game, but this level we're going to be finished with in like a minute. This is a really, really short level, and that's counting the actual boss fight, so yeah. Hot dogs are back. You're going to want to jump off that little ledge that I'm always standing on right there during that fight, because the hitbox of the fire is a little bit wonky. So if you're still standing on that edge and you think that, you know, I'm just out of range of that fire, you're not. It is going to hit you. New to Mega Man 2 for Game Boy, not in the original Dr. Wily's Revenge, is the Rush Marine. It's back. And as with Rush Marine from Mega Man 3 and 4, you can swim in the water, so yay, swim in the water. This Woodman theme sucks. It's not catchy, it's not this, it's... Mega Man doesn't even have his hand-throwing sprite when he uses metal blades now. It's just his buster. It's very, very lazy. These chickens, by the way, no longer should you just stop as soon as you see them. You want to, as soon as they show up, you want to run back a couple of steps and then jump, and then they'll jump over you, and then you'll be fine. So, you know, that'll be that. Anyway, whereas Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge took assets from Mega Man 1 and Mega Man 2, Mega Man 2 for Game Boy will take assets from Mega Man 2 and Mega Man 3. Spoiler alert, the whole second half of the game is going to be Mega Man 3 stuff, so you'll see. Anyway, here's Woodman, and here's where that Mega Buster going through stuff becomes a problem, because look, you can actually shoot your Mega Buster through the leaf shield. You couldn't do that before, and the leaves are so easy to dodge, those falling leaves. You don't even need Metal Blade to take him out. You can take him out with just the Buster. He is so easy with it. It's ridiculous. Just, look, leaf shield, but the Buster's gonna go through. Oh, God. Terrible. Lazy. Overall, not good. But anyway, that's it for him. And now we've got ourselves the Leaf Shield. Woo! Leaf Shield! Yay! Woohoo! Rah, rah, rah! Okay, next guy. And yet another extremely short level. Airman. And Airman's level is pretty much going to be... Wow, did you see how slow that egg fell? Why? Why would it fall that slow? In Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge, they didn't even fall that slow. They fell pretty fast like they did in Mega Man 2, but now... Anyway, believe it or not, I actually like Airman's theme. Just not with this this pitch. There's gonna be a link in the description to a pitch-corrected Mega Man 2 for Game Boy soundtrack, and I actually like the Airman theme. The Airman theme they got going on here is pretty good. That is something I will say for the soundtrack of Mega Man 2 for Game Boy. They got the pitch all wrong, and for that, most of the soundtrack sucks, but they did actually come up with a whole bunch of new themes, which Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge didn't do. I mean, there was new themes for the Wily Castle and Wily Station, but, and I believe the boss fight music was new. But Mega Man 2 for Game Boy, they actually, you know, went, quote-unquote, above and beyond, and actually came up with a brand new soundtrack. So, you know, good for them on that, I guess. Too bad they got the pitch wrong, and or else this would have been pretty great. But anyway, most of Airman's level is made up of those face platform things that I don't know the name of, but they're freaky looking. They shoot out those little things on the side. This section of Airman's level, go fast, because believe it or not, these cloud enemies, their clouds don't actually line up with each other. They don't sync up properly as they're rotating, so if you miss a jump, very similarly to Iceman's level in the original Mega Man, or the Dr. Wily Stage 1 for Mega Man 1, remember those platforms, the faces and the turrets that shoot and they go in a, excuse me, in a random, not actual pattern? Those clouds do the same thing. Why the fuck is that there above the boss door? That makes no sense. Anyway, those cloud things do the same thing. So if you miss a jump and you're forced to wait there, it's very likely those clouds aren't going to sync up again, and you're not going to be able to jump to the next cloud, and you'll have to kill yourself and do it again. That's happened the first time I played. It sucked. Here's Airman. He is still exactly the same as he was before. You got to slide now, like you did in Mega Man 3 when you fought Doc Robot with these powers, so theoretically you could slide under some of these tornadoes, but, like there, but, you know, you got no room to maneuver, so it's really no real point. Sliding, just take the hits, especially if you're going in with full health, you can just War of Attrition Airman to death, but, yeah, there he is. That was dumbed down, crappy Airman. And we got the Air Shooter. And Rush Jet. Cool. Rush Jet's always good, especially since Rush Jet in this game works like Rush Jet in Mega Man 3, so that's going to be very useful. And now we're going to go after Crash. The fuck? Clash Man? Yeah. This game fucked up on the translations, too. I don't know how this game came out after Mega Man 2, after Crash Man was already established and named multiple times in Mega Man 2. When you fight him in the boss and then in the credits, I don't know why the fuck they got it wrong and named him Clash Man. Oh, God. Fucking Clash Man. Well, whatever. Welcome to Clash Man's stage. He looks and acts, and his level is very similar to Crash Man. Ironically. It's almost like they're the same robot. But that couldn't be, because one of them's named Crash Man, and the other one's Clash Man. Clearly two very, very different robot masters. Very clearly two different robot masters. Again, Rush Jet works as it did in Mega Man 3. Oh, God, this game's... Anyway, would you like to know the story of Mega Man 2 for Game Boy? Because Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge was pretty simple, you know, Dr. Wily, take over the world, kill Mega Man, Robot Masters, old Robot Masters, castle, Mega Man killer, blah. This game dares to have a more complicated story. Apparently, from what I understand, Dr. Wily created a time machine. And he went to the future and kidnapped a very specific, very special robot for his own nefarious purposes. We'll be meeting that robot a little later, and I'll be giving you his bio later on, because technically he's one of the Mega Man killers, technically he's not one of the Mega Man killers. It's kind of complicated, but Anyway, Dr. Wily kidnaps this specific robot and plans to, I don't know, I guess take over the world from the past and the future. I guess take over the world at all times at once, because, you know, that'll work. To the point where his Wily Castle, when we do eventually get to the Wily Castle, is going to be a giant time machine, I guess. I don't know. Technically, those teleports we'll be going through in the Wily Castle, spoiler alert, are going to take us to different time periods, and I don't know. You can't tell you're going to different time periods because this game is so lazy and bleh looking that it all just looks like whatever. But apparently we're going to different time periods, and if Mega Man 2 for Game Boy says we're going to different time periods, we're going to different time periods. Oh, oh God, I don't like this game at all. But yeah, time travel plot. We're going to be meeting a very special robot later on that kind of defies a lot of stuff and kind of defies Wily's character just by having that robot there and not doing something else with that robot. I don't know. But anyway, we are done with Clashman's stage, the robot that suspiciously looks and acts just like Crashman. Now, Clashman shares Crashman's weakness of the air shooter. And he fights exactly as Crashman did, so, you know. The only difference is that when he walks back and forth, he's going to walk all the way to the very, very edge of the arena, of the room you're fighting in, whereas in Mega Man 2 for NES, he would actually stop a fair distance before the wall, so that you would have some breathing room, you know. Very, very goddamn lazy with the air shooter. Actually takes a lot more hits from the air shooter than he did in the NES version. Clashman is far more resilient than Crashman ever was. Whatever, though. Clashman is down. You can join Crashman in Robot Hell. Clashman. And for our troubles we're gonna get, no, not the Crash Bombs. This is the Clash Bombs. And the Rush Coil, so. Yay! Rush Coil! Woo! By the way, the Clash Bombs are Metal Man's weakness. So continuing on with the story of Mega Man 2 for Game Boy. How do I feel about it being a time travel story? Well, if they actually told a story in this game, then I guess I wouldn't mind it all that much, because it sounds like a pretty good idea for a plot, especially for a Dr. Wily plot, to use time travel. Which is the idea of one particular Mega Man fan game that I'm sad never got made, Mega Man Time Tangent. It was supposed to be a time travel story too, but that game never got made. Anyway, Mega Man 2 for Game Boy being a time travel story, it's pretty good, but they never... There's nothing that tells you there's no story here. You get a cutscene here and a cutscene at the very end, but they're just your average standard cutscenes. This is just a Dr. Wily trapping Mega Man in a teleport system kind of cutscene, and the other one's just the finale, and that's it. There's nothing to it. You can't, if you never read the manual or went online, you would never know this is a time travel story. And by the way, unlike the Wily Castle in Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge, you don't actually go through a Wily Castle in this one. It's just that teleport room. Although, the twist, that teleport room, instead of taking you to 4 Robot Master boss battles like it did in Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge, it's going to take you to 4 different levels. This is where that time travel thing happens, I think. I'm not entirely sure. It could be this is you traveling through time. It could be that this is just areas. I don't fucking know. It's confusing. Anyway, this level, if you couldn't tell, looks very similarly to a certain level we played in Mega Man 3. From this point onward, we'll be fighting Mega Man 3 Robot Masters, and we will be encountering assets and enemies from Mega Man 3. In this particular case, we're going after Needle Man from Mega Man 3. So, woohoo! Making a terrible game even longer. Yay! Woo! I'm so happy. Not really. But yeah, if you're gonna have a Mega Man game go, above and beyond with its story, with something that isn't just Dr. Wily tries to take over the world again, then you gotta have some cutscenes. You gotta have something to tell us what's going on. Because at first glance, it wasn't until I read that goddamn Mega Man Wiki article that I even knew this was a time travel story. I didn't think this was a time. I thought this was just your average standard Mega Man game with a Mega Man killer near the end and a spoiler alert Wily station afterwards, because there's another Wily station. Like, I kind of spoiled in. That's a life, by the way. I kind of spoiled in Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge, because most of these games have Wily stations at the end. This one's no exception. But you gotta have something to tell me what's going on. I mean, otherwise I'm just playing Mega Man, and that's fine. The game wasn't already kind of mesh. Whatever. We're almost done with the Needle Man stage. Yeah, actually we are done after we get past this jumping enemy right here. Come on, Metal Blades. It is pretty cool going through Mega Man 3 stages with the Metal Blades, with Mega Man 2 powers. That's something you get to experience if you get to play Mega Man 2 for Game Boy, but I wouldn't. All 5 of these games are in the Nintendo eShop for the 3DS, Virtual Console. All 5 of these, Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge, Mega Man 2 for Game Boy, 3 for Game Boy, 4 for Game Boy, and 5 for Game Boy, are all on the eShop. They're pretty cheap. I think they're like, I think I saw Dr. Wily's Revenge for like $5 bucks? $4? They're not that expensive. I'd recommend you pick them up. Maybe not 2. Definitely 5. If you're going to pick up at least one of them, pick up 5. If you're going to pick up all of them, then yeah, fine, pick up all of them. If you're only going to pick up like 1 or 2, pick up 4 and 5. Because 4 and 5 are the best of all of them. But anyway, how far are we on this? Oh god, we still got 3 more of them to go? Jeez. Okay. Ooh, magnets. This must be Magnet Man's stage. By the way, Needle Man fights exactly as he did in Mega Man 3 for NES, except he is weak to air shooter. And something else. We'll see that later. But yeah. Ooh, look at that. Easy to get E-Tank. And I think that is the only reappear and disappear platform in this entire game. I think. I might be wrong about that. There might be some in the Wily Station, but in the regular levels, that is the only reappearing, disappearing block in all the levels. So, good job, Mega Man 2. Goddamn. Why is that thing so small? Some of the resizing of enemies is so strange. I understand it's a smaller screen and such, but I mean, come on. Look at that. At least take some inspiration from the NES games and think that, well, if that thing's bigger than Mega Man, then we should probably make that thing bigger than Mega Man. But oh no. Mega Man 2 for Game Boy plays by its own rules. It's got a brand new Robot Master, technically, with Clash Man. It's got the resized enemies and... Jesus. This goddamn game. Well, I've been talking for like 23 minutes. I'm already worn out by it. Whatever. Mega Man 3 for Game Boy will be a lot better. Actually, you know what? Something I should say. For all its faults, for everything Mega Man 2 for Game Boy gets wrong, this is arguably the easiest Mega Man game out of all of them. Which isn't technically something you got wrong, it's just, it's the easiest one. It just is. I mean, it's really, really easy. It's almost stupidly easy. Yeah, you don't have to use the reappear and disappearing blocks to get through that. You can just use Rush Coil. But this game's really, really easy. There's not really that much platforming challenges. The bosses are all really dumbed down and don't do much damage, except for the final boss. The Mega Man killer we're gonna fight later on is also stupidly easy. You'll see. He's compared to Anchor, this guy's nothing. You know what? I do like Magnet Man's theme. I'm listening to it some more now, and it's not that bad. I mean, the pitch is still all wrong, and I would recommend that you take a listen to the pitch-corrected version of the Mega Man 2 for Game Boy soundtrack, because a lot of this stuff actually just doesn't sound half bad when the pitch has been corrected, but as it sounds now, it's just grating to the ear. It is just almost painful to listen to. I mean, I'm not in pain right now because I've got the volume on it so low that I can barely hear it, but I'm sure if this was louder, then I would be screaming some bloody murder right now, but I'm not, so I'm okay. And we're done with Magnet Man's stage, and we get to take on Magnet Man himself, yet another dumbed-down version of a Mega Man 3 Robot Master. He doesn't actually do the trying to suck you in thing with his magnets. All he does is jump up and shoot 3 magnet missiles that come down at you, just like they did in Mega Man 3, and that's it. He's weak to needle cannon. He doesn't do that sucking in thing anymore, at least I don't think he does. If he does do it, it's so rare that I never got him to do it. And that's that. Alrighty. Let's move on to the third of Dr. Wily's Castle Robot Masters. Oh god, this game. It's already tired me out. Whatever, I know I'm going to be more active when Mega Man 3, when it's time to do my commentary for Mega Man 3. For now, though, oof. This is a hassle. Anyway, welcome to Hardman's stage in Mega Man 2 for Game Boy. Yet another super easy, dumbed down version of a stage we already saw. Yay. What more is there to say about this game? It's not that good. It's arguably the weakest Mega Man game ever, out of all of them. Even that one Mega Man game nobody mentions, the Rockman and Bass 2. Actually, it's pretty ironic. Rockman and Bass 2. Sorry, Rockman and Bass. Rockman and Forte 2, the sequel to the original Mega Man and Bass, which we'll be getting to much later. The sequel to Mega Man and Bass. Anyway, the main enemy of that game is in this game. And these are two of the weakest games in the franchise, so coincidence? I think not. I think there's something to it. And I think that something to it is don't do time travel in the Mega Man game. Or at least if you're doing time travel, you gotta think it through, because as of right now, the two big time travel games of Mega Man are not that good. You know what's even more grating than all that, though? That this game clearly does have potential. There is potential for a really great, epic, time-traveling Mega Man adventure somewhere buried deep inside of here. Deep inside of here. But because the execution was so half-assed, it's pretty much pretty much just a mess. This game came out in 1992, I believe, which compared to the first Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge, let me just take a look real quick to find out when that came out. 1991. So this game had about a year of development. That's pretty average for a Mega Man sequel. And yet clearly they just didn't get it right. I don't know if they gave this to Capcom's B team or if they really were just being completely and totally half-assed with it, but this game just came out terribly. And I'm going to keep harping on this, ladies and gentlemen, all two of you. I'm going to keep harping on this until we get to the end of the game, until we get to some new content, because there's nothing more to talk about. All this stuff you've already seen. Magnet Man fights exactly as he did in Mega Man 3 for NES. His weakness is still Magnet Missile. There's nothing more to say about that guy. Or about his boring-ass level. And his admittedly pretty good theme. At least when it's pitch corrected, it's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. I mean, it just baffles the mind why this game came out so goddamn half-assed. What could have happened in that time? Were they just dicking around, twiddling their thumbs until like a month? Until like 1 month before the game came out? I don't know. They realized a month before the game came out, oh my god, we only got a month before the game is scheduled for release. We gotta put something together really quick because we don't want to miss out on the money. I don't know. I don't know. This game just, oh god. After I'm done with this commentary, I am never, ever touching this one again. I am never, ever, 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 ever gonna go near it. And you shouldn't either, because this game is not worth it. It's not good at all. Oh, hey, the cats. Hey, cats. Operating exactly as they did in Mega Man 3, except instead of shooting two yarn balls, two metallic yarn balls, they only shoot one. And what the fuck is up with those things? Those met tools on the bulldozers. For some reason, whenever they get near Mega Man, they just start spasming. What is that? Why are they spasming out? What the fuck was that? Why does it do that? I don't know. It makes it easier because usually they do that when they're nowhere near you, so you have plenty of time to shoot them in the head 3 times before the bulldozer is destroyed, but... ay caramba. No, there's the fleas. Just like in Mega Man 3. Come on, go down, go down. There we go. Yet another free tank. I don't think I used even one of those yet. Although, that's going to change when we get to the final boss, because just like in Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge, the final boss is actually kind of tough, so prepare for that. Oh, God. What a shitty, shitty, shitty little game. I mean, at least Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge had some originality in the castle level, but this is... there isn't even a castle level until the very, very end, and it's only one long gauntlet level, just like in the Wily Station from Dr. Wily's Revenge, and there you have to kind of use rush jets, so... oh, you know what? That's something I could talk about. The second 4 levels in the Wily Castle, they operate like a Wily Castle, so in between every level, you don't get your weapon energy back, so conserve the weapon energy or you'll be in trouble. Like, I would have been there if I didn't have any rush jet. Because if I didn't have any rush jet, I probably wouldn't have been able to make that jump to the first spinning top, and I would have been in some serious, serious trouble. So remember, conserve, because in the Wily Castle, when you're going through the second 4 levels to fight these second 4 robot masters, you're not getting your weapon energy back in between bosses. So be very, very careful. It's something you probably already noticed, but I'm going to mention it just right now because I kind of want to stop talking about how much I don't like this game. Anyway, that's that. That's all the Robot Masters, and Mega Man has his last power, the super useless top spin. Just as useless as it was in Mega Man 3, except against Needle Man, as you'll see right now. Well, right now. Here we go. Anyway, that's going to take that really quick. In the meantime, though, get ready to be introduced to a brand new character to the Mega Man series. The technically second of the 4 Mega Man killers. Technically not really a Mega Man killer. His designation number isn't even Mega Man killer number like it was in Anchor. This is Quint. Quint. Dr. Wily has captured Mega Man from the future and remodeled him. What? A good point. Fortune telling. A bad point. Time zone fatigue. He likes excavations and dislikes himself. Oh, that's a little sad, actually. Seriously, though. The fuck? Dr. Wily goes to the future, realizes Rock is no longer Mega Man, and has gone back to being, helpful lab assistant Rock, like 30-something years in the future, kidnapped him, and remodeled him to be a weapon again by the name of Quint. And instead of giving him a powerful buster, he gives him a goddamn pogo stick. Anyway, we get the Sakugarne. We'll be going over what that is in a bit. It's the pogo stick. Spoiler alert. It's the pogo stick. That's what that is. It's gonna be the goddamn pogo stick. You saw the Quint fight. It's very easy. He just pogo sticks at you, digs up some rocks. They have very short range. And then he'll jump to where you are and do it again and again. You saw it. It's very easy by the numbers. So simple fight compared to Anchor that... Is that fucking meat? Is that meat? Oh my god, what kind of fucking space station is this? But seriously, Mega Man from the future, why didn't Dr. Wily just go to the past and just kill Rock before he did all this, or just change the future, or just... He didn't want to disrupt the timeline. I get that. He didn't want to disrupt the timeline. I get that to a certain degree. But if you're gonna kidnap Mega Man and remodel him, why would you remodel him to be so lame? Quint is lame in this game and in Mega Man 5 when he actually shows up. Here's the pogo stick, by the way. You'll see it more in action during the Wily boss fight because, spoiler alert, the only weakness for the Wily boss fight is going to be the pogo stick. So, yay! Oh, but I don't goddamn get it. Why would he kidnap Mega Man from the future and remodel him to be so stupidly lame? Oh, it boggles my mind. Oh, it really does. It really, really, honestly does. Excuse me just one second. There we go. Sorry about that. My air conditioner was still on, and it finally automatically came on just now, so I didn't want the sound of the air conditioner messing up the recording too much. Probably did a little bit, but I stopped it, and, now I'm back, so... Sorry about that. Anyway, with some newfound energy, because I've been moving around a little bit, let's go ahead and finish Mega Man 2 for Game Boy. By the way, they didn't even come up with a brand new theme for the Wily Station. The Wily Station theme is just the title theme. That's still lame. Also, by the way, the weapon energy that you wasted in the teleport time traveling thing in Wily's castle, I guess, is still wasted when you get to Wily Station, so be careful of that. Remember, conserve your weapon energy. You're gonna need it. Especially the weapon energy for the for Quint's item, the Sakugarne, I don't know. Quint's pogo stick. There. Did it. And be sure to have full weapon energy for that, so, that's why I'm getting weapon energy for it right now. Because we need it for the big bad final boss with the stupidest goddamn uncorrectly sized sprite ever. But we'll get to that when we finally goddamn get to that. Anyway, just like the Wily station from Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge, this is just a long gauntlet of pretty much everything that we faced in this really, really short game. Well, I say it's a short game. It's a little bit longer than Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge. Not by much, but a little bit longer. And that's mostly because of the length of Wily Station. This is a longer Wily Station than the... Well, is it really? No, it's not. We're done with Wily Station. It's because the boss fight takes a little while. That's why. That's why the boss fight takes a little while. That's why this is longer than Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge. Because they do it in one take, but take a lot of damage. Anyway, look at this fucking thing. Look at this stupid little chicken walker thing. This is the Wily Machine World 2. I smashed my mouse there accidentally, so sorry about that. Wily Machine World 2. Only one weakness, the Quint's Pogo Stick. You can use the Mega Buster if you run out, but Quint's Pogo Stick is the main weakness of it, just like in Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge. This thing's so stupid. It's just gonna shoot bombs, it's gonna jump up, it's gonna try to crush you. You don't even have to take all of its health away. Once you take away about... that's a little over half his health right there. He's going to retreat into the second form of Wily Machine World 2. This one is a tank-like bottom instead of a chicken walker. It's going to shoot some missiles, some bombs. Still not that much of a threat, so some beams. Still very, very easy. And still, you don't have to take out the entire health bar. You just take out most of it. Again, that's a little over half, and Wily will retreat into his final form. This is the final one. Something very similar to the dinosaur tank that he will have in Mega Man 9. This final form does actually shoot some missiles and some bombs, and not much else. I don't think it even moves. No, it doesn't. Its weak point is... it's a little bit difficult to say, because Mega Man is shooting him in the head, but the skull's taking damage, but if you shoot him directly in the skull, it kind of just bounces off, so I don't know, just keep shooting him, keep laying on the pressure, and eventually you're going to beat Wily Machine World 2, you're going to beat this stupid lame game, and you're finally going to be done, and you're going to move on, and thank God, and there, we're done. Oh, thank fucking Christ, we're done, yes! That's it for Mega Man 2 for Game Boy. Woo! And it looks like we're getting a power, but we're not really getting a power. That's just more Mega Man 2 for Game Boy laziness. Anyway, Dr. Wily and his stupid fucking sprite. What is that sprite? That is the lamest looking Wily sprite I've ever seen in my life. And the smallest one. He's smaller than Mega Man. Look at him. He's smaller than goddamn Mega Man. Anyway, yeah, Mega Man. Go ahead, kill him. We're done. We're done with him. No more Wily. That's it for you. Anyway, with a semi-decent, kind of epic explosion, that's the end of Mega Man 2 for Game Boy. Oh, thank God. Just like Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge, the credits include names of all the enemies that you may have wondered what their names are. Like this thing, the Wanan, or the Hammer Joes, even though they throw things that aren't hammers. Okay, that's... or the Katakita, whatever the hell it is, whatever. This is Mega Man 2 for Game Boy. I don't like it. It's lame. Unlike Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge, it has the same recipe, and theoretically, this should have been just as good as Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge, but a uneven soundtrack, bad, lazy, short level design, extremely dumbed down, easy bosses, somewhat broken weapons with that Mega Buster that can shoot through things, even enemies, a very, very complicated plot that isn't explained to you at all in the story, just in the manual. You just have to kind of infer that all for yourself. And an overall just unpleasing presentation of all this stuff put together. It's just not fun. This game is just not fun at all compared to Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge. If you have to choose between the two, get Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge and stay well away from Mega Man 2 for Game Boy. This game is terrible. This game is not fun. This game is... This game is just a train wreck. Thankfully, this is the only time in the Mega Man for Game Boy series that Capcom truly messes it up big time and really drops the ball. This does not ever happen again. Mega Man 3 for Game Boy is a return to form. Things are finally back to the way they should be. Things are fun again. I can't wait to get to Mega Man 3 for Game Boy, because that's a really fun one. In fact, because I'm recording in bulk today, I'm going to get to Mega Man 3 for Game Boy right now. So I'm going to sign off. Thanks so much for watching. Stay well away from this game. It's not that great. Try to have a good day.